you were going to get.
No. I think it's very interesting how this works. So we've had a spate of legal cases where ultimately governments have enforced the return of money back to citizens. It's been PPI. Remember the old price fixing saga with BA and a number of the other airlines. You know, people that bought those tickets had those flights years ago, never thought anything more about it. Then a check came through the post and said, there you go, congratulations, you're now benefiting. Well, no, but that's kind of how, and I think the VW story will be the same. We're talking about 11 million vehicles here that will need to go back into service stations to get the software changed. What is Volkswagen going to be forced to give those customers to compensate them for the fact they've been driving around in these vehicles?
Well, and the resale is lower.
Well, is it? You know what? Anybody that had a VW since 2006, did they give two hoots,
no,
quite frankly, about a modest increase in emissions as a result of the software?
No.
But they will be a beneficiary at some point, one imagines.
No, but the rules are going to change. Regulations are going to change against these. They're already going against these. We've seen it in London as well, getting more punitive. And the problem for VW and the rest of the diesel manufacturers who've been selling clean diesel is if the regulations are more aggressive now, then the value of those existing stock of vehicles, used and, let's say, even the new ones, is much lower.
What are you going to do? I mean, the British government, I think, has already said we are not going to go after those owners of vehicles for additional taxes because, if you're not aware, here in the UK, the tax you pay on your vehicle is based on the emissions level. The British government has already said they're not going to do anything about that.
New legislation.
Well, yeah, but it's like an awful lot of environmental rubbish. You know, it's a temporary thing. Volkswagen is still producing great cars.
Yeah.
People going down to garages, forecourts this weekend, want to buy a car. Volkswagen are well priced. It's a great car. It's an emission issue. It failed some bloody test set by some idiot regulator 5 years ago. Fine, they shouldn't have failed the test. But does it affect the fuel consumption? No. Does it affect the safety of the car, the engine? Absolutely not. Will it have a long-term effect on Volkswagen? No. As long as you produce the next great car, be gone again.
Just put on the record for us what your views are on global greenhouse gas emissions.
Absolute bloody nonsense. I mean, I'm sorry, the problem I have with the whole environmental debate is it's shifted away from being global warming because they couldn't stand up global warming, and it's now climate change.
Right.
I mean, climate change is every day. It's called weather. But the issue, the solution that regulators come up with is let's tax something. So we put a tax on airline tickets, which accounts for 2% of Europe's CO2 emissions. The marine transport ferries account for 5%. But no, because Sky News can't show you a ferry hovering out of a port, there you can see the globe warming up. They go, no, let's tax airlines. They don't, and ultimately all it does reduces European competitiveness. Now, if you can stand it up and you're actually going to make some contribution, then fine. But taxing air travel simply because you want to be seen to do something, when it comes back to your earlier point of government here, just want to raid the kitty, generate revenue. It does nothing for the environment, nor will it do anything for the environment. And the whole environmental debate, unless you can get the Russians and the Chinese and the Indians on side, frankly, Europe is simply sitting there appealing to some middle-class angst and raising taxes while making us less competitive.
So you don't think Paris, the upcoming COP21, will generate anything more than verbal
heat? It will generate an enormous amount of emissions, all of which will be generally useless, and they'll come up with some, I've got to be nice on TV, they'll come up with some bogus and rubbish statement at the end of it. Will it make any difference? No, but they'll probably find, the Europeans will find some way to reduce our competitiveness as a result of it. And the Russians, the Indians, the Chinese will laugh at us.